Hi everyone. Ignore the mess around here. So I've been crafting. It's all my crochet stuff. It's always there. It is what it is. But anyway, I thought I'd come on here and talk a little bit about something that I have really been finding. Um, I was struggling. Let's just put it this way. I was struggling with feeling like I just can't afford to buy the foods I need to buy to be able to be on Weight Watchers and lose the weight. And then I had this aha moment of realizing, I've been watching a lot of TikTok and I watch a lot of the people on Weight Watchers and that make little TikToks about what foods they can make that mimic like real food, like Snicker bars or ice cream and things like that. And I was getting depressed. It's like I can't afford to go out and buy protein powder and protein shakes, and can't afford to go buy tons and tons of fruit, and I cannot, the peanut butter PB2 or whatever. I am not putting anybody down that does that, but when you have a budget, you've got to give and take. And it's like, I can't afford to buy the 99% free, fat-free deli meats and ground hamburger and ground, all that being under like 96% has to be above um, it can probably I think it has to be like 4% or more, less of fat for it to be have 0 points to it for one serving. And it's like that's just so expensive. And I was thinking because I was watching everybody else do it, this I can't afford to do this. And then I just had an aha moment. Go back to basics. Everything on Weight Watchers is possible if you manage it right. Um, And for me, I am a bulk eater. It's like I can't afford to have all this. And that's something I'm trying to break. One thing I've noticed, and I finally just realized it the other day, is I cut back from using the 10-inch plates down to the 7.5-inch plates. And it's like, okay, at first, like, well, I know that this is a smaller place. So it's not as full as it looks. But if you continue to do it continuously, always, you have to be persistent. You have to be, I'm losing the word I want to use. You have to do it all the time. And all of a sudden I realized my brain was changing its thinking. It was like, ooh, that's a pretty full plate. I wasn't thinking about, oh, it's only a 7.5. I'm thinking, ooh, that's pretty full. And I noticed that's helping. But what I've been doing is I'm still buying the meat that I can afford, which is the 85% or lower. I can't, just the way it is, just the way it is. I can't go to the deli meat counter and buy $12 a pound meat. Um, so I do the best I can in the lunch meats when I use it. Is I watch a YouTuber that's budget friendly meals, but it's not like diet friendly meals. What you consider diet friendly meals. And she said something that stuck with me. She said that she does not use meat as a star of the show. It's a side dish, and it clicked. It's like, and I've done it a little bit before, like especially ground beef, but I didn't think about that. You have a small portion of the meat, and then you fill yourself up with other stuff like the veggies or the salad, especially salads, and little things like that are less expensive. Um, Frozen vegetables have become my friend, and anyway, I realized that by doing that, I could still buy the meat that I can afford and portion it out. And everything else, like I'll have, for instance, we'll have chicken. If I have, say, I do it all different ways, but air fried chicken, I will do just a little piece, 4 ounces or less, which is all you're supposed to have anyway, and bulk the plate up with a salad and some kind of vegetable, or sometimes if I said we'll have fruit with it instead. Um, I like to cut up fruit. One of my things I like to do that I can't afford to pay. I mean, it's not that I can't afford it. I don't want to sacrifice something else for it. So I will buy apples and I'll cut them up and I'll put 2 tablespoons of the cheap peanut butter if I have the points. It's just one thing I will do too is like if I want to treat myself, instead of getting the the not Miracle Whip, getting the Cool Whip, the name brand Cool Whip, and the name brand sugar-free pudding, and because you can put that all together and you can either freeze or you can eat it like that, and it's really really good. Um, I will treat myself, but I will buy the off brands, and it'll last me quite a bit. So it's about just being smart about your choices. For instance, like when I use ground hamburger now, I use half of it. When I make like spaghetti, I use half of it. And I know you can use lentils, which I'm still nervous about using lentils. I've never had lentils, and I'm a little scared of them, but people say they just blend right in. I did have it one time. I shouldn't say I did never have had them. One time mixed in with the ground beef and tacos, and that you couldn't tell. So when I do tacos, I will put kidney beans in there or black beans, things a little bit, they're cheaper, and plus they are Weight Watchers friendly. And with spaghetti, again, I use, as I said, I use half of that, and I just make sure the spaghetti is really flavorful. And then I will put my cup of spaghetti, and then I will put a big thing of salad, and I just, depending on how much they are, I don't buy bag salads. I can't afford bag salads. If I get a bag salad, it's that cheap where it has the lettuce and the carrots and sometimes cabbage with it, or I will buy a head of lettuce myself and do it myself because I'm not paying $3-4 for a bag of lettuce that's going to last, if Jason and I both have it, one serving. That's ridiculous. So there's ways of doing it. And so when I bulk up my plate, I'm my most of my calories, like for spaghetti, is from the pasta. And I will sometimes even I've actually even used like ground turkey, which is cheaper than ground beef. And when I will use ground turkey a lot, he's across the hall working. He claims he doesn't like ground turkey and all that stuff, but if you put it in stuff, and I don't like being, because he knows, he can see the package, but he don't gripe about it. But if I say something, he goes, "Yeah, I noticed," but he don't notice anyway. But he doesn't complain. Bless him. I love him to death because he's just so good about it. Um, it's cheaper and actually a little bit better points for you, and I will make it stretch. Even frozen sausage, ground sausage, 10 times is cheaper than ground beef, and I can put that like in spaghetti because it is a little bit of a kick. Depending on what you're making. When I make like hamburger gravies, like me, I'm never gonna be able to have hamburger gravy. Yes, you can. What I do is I buy again either the ground beef or I've done it with the sausage, and I use half of it, and I don't make my own with all the flour and butter. I buy, and I don't know how this is, might be controversial, but this is how I do it. I buy the country gravy packets that are not name brand. They're like 89 to 99 cents here. And I will buy one or two depending on how many meals I want to make. Usually I do two so I can make it for both days. And it's incredibly less points than if I put the flour in the butter with it and make the roux myself. It's just about being smart. I don't make foods that take 15 different ingredients. Can't do it. I should say can't. I refuse to because then something else has to be sacrificed. So it's about going back to basics and just eating normal food. Everything can be on. You don't have to take away everything, unless obviously if you have allergies, stuff like that. But I try to make my foods healthier than unhealthy. So it's not like I sit here and eat a big old container of Cool Whip with pudding and a little tiny bit of meal. Um, that stuff is considered a treat. That's all it is. It's not meant to be a meal. And it's hard. When you're a food addict, it's very hard knowing that it's sitting out there. Um, Portion control is very, very, very hard to do because I can portion control things, but I'll go back and get one or two or three containers. It's about really fighting for what you really want. And it's something that I have had to learn to do is I have cried. And I know this sounds pathetic, but I have cried because I can't have another one that I want. I can't. I try to tell myself it'll be there tomorrow. It's not the end. It's not the end. It's not like you're never going to have it again. It's learning to train my brain that I can't use food for my emotions. I can't. If I'm bored, I can't just eat. If I'm happy, I can't just eat. If I'm mad, I can't just eat. I don't always win. Especially in a week, I've probably failed 2 or 3 times. But I am being a lot more conscious about it than I used to be. And I I'm at the point where I have to lose this weight. I can hardly move. When I'm like jury duty scares the living crap out of me, and the thought of having to go. Um, I'm not going to get into it because I am trying to manifest that I'm just not going to be asked to. It's a whole big story, but anyway, it's just little. I don't want things that happen in my life that pop up for me to live in fear because of my weight. How am I going to get there? Am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to physically be able to get there? Am I going to be able to handle it? Because walking just from here to my door will get me out of breath. Will there be chairs? Am I going to be able to fit in the chairs? Am I going to be able to? Am I going to break the chairs? You know, it's just so much that doesn't need to be in my life, but it is. So if I can lose this weight, it's got to become my number one priority. Not just because of a physical appearance, but because of my health. I am not healthy. And that right now is my number one focus, is just getting to I can move around. I don't want to be immobile. I don't want to feel like I'm useless. I don't want to feel like I don't have a purpose. And this weight has made me feel all that. I know this video is getting really long, but I'm doing it for myself. I don't think anybody will ever watch the whole all the way through, and I understand, but I just want people to understand that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to make the foods like they do on TikTok. Your number one priority is getting food in you as best as you can and as nutritious as you can, but deciding what is important and what is not. I won't buy grapes because there's some fancy recipe that I want to try them with if bag of apples is cheaper type thing. And sometimes make your treat as a once in a while treat. Once a month, you know, buy things that you normally wouldn't buy. Have it be a treat. But don't think you need to keep up with the Joneses, as they said in my day. You know, don't think you have to do all these TikTok trends, food trends, because the most popular ones are doing it. And I don't think they even expect you to do it. They're sharing their information. But not everybody has, and especially now, has an endless budget. And I know I don't. My budget is low, and I've got to do what I got to do. But I also want to get healthy. So it's about making the right choices. I can't just spontaneously go to the grocery store. So it takes more effort. I have to think things through. I have to look at the ad. I have to, figure out my meal plan, every single meal, so I can fit it into the budget. So anyway, I've talked like, oh my gosh, 13 minutes, but I don't know if this helped anybody. I don't know if it made any sense, but I just wanted to get it out there. Just know you can do it. I'm always here if you need help. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm on this journey as well, and I'm starting to learn that the brain can be changed. So I'm hoping that's a little bit of a breakthrough. And I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.